I started out as an art student, and I never could understand how men, especially men, are so afraid of color. Like, I never understood it. If you look outside, you'll see a sea of black, navy blue, charcoal gray, maybe olive green. And if you wear a pink shirt, you're Clay Aiken. If you wear an orange suit, you should be picking up garbage from the side of the road, or you're a prisoner, or whatever. And I thought, how can you take something as beautiful as color and demoralize it to the point where it has an affiliation with either a sexuality or a religion? And that's my cosmicness coming out. But my daughter Sarah got a record deal, and as her dad, I'm not allowed to be involved with the music, which is weird for me because we're in the same industry, but I'm not allowed to say, that guitar sucks, because I have to just sit there and be quiet. If I buy them meat, if I take them out to like Ruth Chris Steakhouse, I'm allowed to have an opinion. If I don't, I have to shut up. And she had this great, scary, 2 different color, and I said, as an homage to you, my daughter, getting her first record deal, I'm going to dye my beard the color of your hair. And so I went and I dyed my beard the first time for her. Then I went to England. I was producing Ozzy Osbourne, and Sharon asked me if I would do the X Factor with her and Simon Cowell in England. I mean, it's coming to America this year, but I did the show for 3 years in England. And as soon as I did it in England, and you're on TV, and the English are so beautiful because they're excitable and they're fanciful. Well, they saw me, and one day in the paper I was called Weird Beard. Oh, there he is, Weird Beard. Oh, lovely, Weird Beard. And it caught on. To the point where one time I was walking down the street with Ringo, we were making a record, and like 5 kids came up to me, and not the Beatle. I don't say that very often, but it was the truth. And he didn't care, obviously. But since then, it kind of stuck. And so now I don't have a tattoo. My tattoo is on my face. And I do black and orange for Halloween, red, white, and blue, 4th of July. Valentine's Day, I do the bottom red like a heart. Red and green for Christmas. Last year I tried to do a Hanukkah thing, but I looked like a gay zebra. It didn't work. I tried to do the candles and the dreidels, and it was a horrible disaster. This is sort of my spring look. Easter's really scary, because that's when it gets like pink and yellow, and even I frighten myself during Easter. Well, I know them, so, you know, Mickey Dolenz is a friend of mine. And the spirit of the Monkees is beautiful. It was like an American version of the Beatles, but they weren't writing the material. You know, the Beatles had the other thing going on. And I think it's great. You know, it's interesting. When I look at music today, and you see the guys that are actually, you know, if you look at Paul McCartney, and Elton John, and Rod Stewart, and Stevie Nicks, and you start to look at all these people, it's all the old guys that are still pulling it in. So if the Monkees want to go out and play, listen, you know, it's a scary thing about this industry that they put a shelf life on everybody. And all of a sudden you reach a certain age, or you know, you lose your hair, or you suffer from bag drag, or whatever that will be. Figure that out later. You get sent to the musical cornfield, and I don't get that. It's like, you know, Stevie Van Zandt put the Young Rascals back together with Gene Cornish and Eddie Brigati and Felix Cavallari and Dino Danelli. I know that sounds real Italian, but they played, and I ran into Paul Schaefer on the street, and he goes, Marky, they rocked like I can't even tell you. And forget whether someone's 60 or whether they're 16. God bless Justin Bieber and his bad haircut. He should make as much money and have as much fun as he possibly can. And then when it's not fun anymore, I hope he saved his money, but I hope that for everybody. From NSYNC to the Monkees to everybody. Because, you know, music is free. We started out playing music for nothing. And then sooner or later, we lose people. Like, well, I don't know why I came in tonight. Jerry Rafferty, I'm feeling something ain't right. I'm so scared that guess I'm falling off my chair. Clowns to the left, joker to the right. Here I am, stuck in the middle with you. love those guys. None of us are here forever. The first 18 years of our lives are screwed up because we're told what to do by our parents and a priest and a teacher. The last 18 are screwed up because we break a knee, we go bald, we need Viagra, women's boobies are like a 30-inch B waist. We have a window of opportunity that we better haul butt. And if you're rocking and you get a chance to play, look, go see the Eagles. Go watch Joe Walsh play guitar. I don't even know how old Joe is, but you know what? I know a lot of 20-year-olds that can't come close to being that great. Rock and Roll Fantasy Camp it's kind of like when you would see like the baseball fantasy camps, and guys would pay X amount of dollars so they get to work out with A-Rod and play catch with Jeter, and they get their baseball fantasy going. David Fishoff came up with an idea to do the Rock and Roll Fantasy Camp, to have your musical version of that. How many people do we know in our lives that started out playing guitar, they were in a bar band, and then either their parents or they got smart, because rock and roll is a difficult thing to make it in, and went, I better become a lawyer, and they do. But that other part of them, when they're in their car and they turn the radio up, they're doing Steven Tyler. They want to be that. This became the opportunity for them to, for a week, become a rock and roll star. Be in a band with bandmates, arguing egos, just like the real thing. And then at the end of it, you're on stage singing and you look over and you're standing next to Roger Daltrey. Or you go, take the solo, and it's Slash in his Muppet hat with a cigarette screaming. Or Steven Tyler, or Joe Walsh. And so many people have done this. And how could your dream not come true when you turn over and right there is Roger Daltrey singing, we won't be fooled again. Hello, dream come true. It even happens to me. You know, I'm on stage and all of a sudden I turn over and I go, wait a minute. What am I doing here? And you're right next to Mark Farner singing Grand Funk Railroad. I'm your captain, yeah, 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 yeah. It's surreal, but it works. And once you do it, you never forget it for the rest of your life. That's a tough one. It's like when someone says, what's your favorite Beatles song? Right. It's only because, you know, I have had the chance of working with Eric Clapton on a Ringo record, and Dave Gilmour, and Zakk Wylde. I mean, I've seen and Slash. It's like, wow, it's like, which one? I think all in all, for me, when Joe Perry plays guitar, it makes my heart smile, because he does it like an untaught child, and it's sort of its own breathing organism. The fingers are moving, it's nasty as can be, it's melodic as can be, it's sometimes too loud, and you know what? I don't even really care. Because, you know, I wrote Living on the Edge, but when I heard him play that riff, and it's a stupid one, but he played it. I think, to me, live, Joe Perry consistently, throughout an entire show, has blown me away every single time. I get confused, you know, and then Zakk Wylde, but he's like, you know, he's spitting on himself, and I can't actually think that fast. So I go home and I'm driving in my car and I go, wow, Zakk Wylde. And then Slash is out of the Joe Perry school, which is out of the Keith Richards school. And you get those guys. And then by the time you get to Clapton and Dave Gilmour and George Harrison, that's where the melody, and you get the tone. I'd never heard vibrato and a bended note like Dave Gilmour ever in my life. And he double tracked it, and the bend was in time, you know, the second take, you know, because usually when you bend, it's going to kind of spot on. And I thought, oh, that'd be lucky, but he did it 4 times. That ain't luck. That's not winning the lottery. I've been blessed. I can obviously say, and it's not just because I work with him, the best drummer that I've ever worked with is Ringo Starr. He is, and I've worked with them all, from Keltner to Vinnie Colaiuta, and the best drummer, and the reason why no one plays a song like Ringo Starr. Nobody. Not a matter of paradiddles and all that stuff. My new favorite one is the guy in the Roots. He just sits there and lays down some stank and with a smile on his face, and it's fantastic. But I can remember during our Wild years, Joe Walsh, you know, I can't really name my favorite one. There was one time we were doing Life in the Fast Lane, and Jimmy Johnson was on bass and Chad Wackerman, and we're doing it. And in those days we were at the Tip and Sip, so everyone was kind of like well-oiled. And Joe is playing Life in Show, that makes you lose it. And he turned around to the band and he went, everybody solo. And we like, well, he goes, I mean it. And so for 6 bars, everybody soloed. That kind of fun you can't buy. That kind of fun you can't talk about. You only remember being there for it.